Claudia D'Alessio lives her life as a cosmopolitan each and every day, and that is that we as cosmopolitans hold on to the truth that every human has obligations to every other. Everybody matters. She spreads these values and ideals not only to her own children, but to the children she teaches each day and every year. Claudia is a 5th grade English language arts social studies teacher. By being a teacher, she is able to teach her students that we are all one human family, regardless of what we look like, think, or where we come from. Claudia discusses in her class how we must love our neighbors on a global level, and in order to do this, we must promote peace, which means we are kind to others, even the ones we may not know. Claudia grew up in Long Island, New York, where her family's belief system and values they held to be true were that of Catholicism. She felt in a world so big there had to be more, and so she sought out to find out about other religions and customs, ideals, and beliefs. She read and studied groups like Native Americans, Hindus, and Buddhists. She felt these groups geared their ideals toward living a peaceful life and to never judge a man until you walk a mile in their moccasins. Rather than judge a man, we must strive to understand him, for whom he is based off his experiences. When she was 18, she decided to travel to Europe alone. She stayed with a former exchange student. There she attended a community gathering in Taizé, France, where she was able to go on a spiritual journey with people from all over the world. It was here she was encouraged to live her life through kindness and simplicity. She also realized by meeting people that came from different walks of life, you had to begin to accept they were different and use those differences to form conversations about values and ideals they shared and find a common language. Claudia was able to form friendships culturally and realize the importance of what a global neighbor was and how they are more than just a stranger. Similar to a pious view that understanding one another may be hard, it can certainly be interesting, but it doesn't always require that we come to an agreement. After her trip here, she went to Romania with an Italian church group. Here she worked in a village called Sarasu. During her time in the village, she learned a very valuable lesson that even when people have little to nothing, they will still give everything they have. She realized that not all people around the world are as fortunate and have the same opportunities or materialistic items we take for granted each day. Claudia got the opportunity to work with these kids in the village. She attended services for the betterment of her own beliefs and ideals as they began to be shaped by her experiences. During her interview, she was asked, what or how do you view others that are different from you? Claudia stated she liked different as long as they were open-minded. She states that she can get along with others when they come to an understanding on what their common language of a value is and how they can find similarities in these values. She thinks that it's amazing how physically different we could be as people, but how on the inside we can be so much the same as long as we can find a universal truth. She goes on to say, I can tolerate individuals that have extreme values that are vastly different from my own. I can engage in conversations with these people and reflect on where their values may have come from, and I don't have a problem discussing these beliefs, but I do try to persuade them otherwise and get them to see from my point of view. I think perspective and how they view the world and how they see these things may or might not change their opinion or beliefs, but again, that is okay because I can surround myself with people who are willing to be open and who can find a common ground. Recently, at the 5th grade graduation, she left her students with these thoughts. If you go out into the world and just remember that you, as one person, one individual, you can make a difference in someone's life. You can affect positive change in this world. Then my purpose in your lives will have been realized. We are not here on this planet for ourselves. We are all a part of something so much bigger. Please remember this as you go forward. Your task is to take care with your choices. Take care with those around you. Practice both random and conscious acts of kindness. Remember that you are surrounded by people that love you. Help spread that wealth. Leave everything a little better than when you found it.
I would have to say that in order for students to truly understand about other people's experiences, you need to give them those experiences. And if we can't do it by going somewhere, then I have to provide the experience in the classroom. In which case we are watching video clips of people from other countries. We talk about our own experiences. In the winter celebration of holidays around the world, the students actually are required to bring a food and music, craft of a culture that happens around the winter holiday time period. And then we have done the social justice project. So to understand that every human matters, the children have to understand sort of the butterfly effect. If one butterfly across the universe, across the world is impacted, dies, what is the chain reaction? And similarly, that's what we study in class. We've studied the events of terrorist attacks, we've studied the events of poverty, and famine. We study the effects of hatred, gang violence. We talk about those and how that impacts the rest of society. So if they can understand that one person hurting, one person being treated unfairly impacts a greater good,